my gosh, this is just like a
You're like a
circus.
magnet.
Yeah. So, here's what we're going to do. All of us have YouTube channels, and we had this idea. I had this idea, we talked about it, and we all agreed this would be a good thing to do a chat for all of you to hear. The title of this is basically, how has YouTube, not tubed. You can be tubed.
The YouTube.
How has YouTube changed your life? And a lot is the answer.
Absolutely.
A lot. Totally changed things for all of us in different ways. So
what are our channels? Talk about that.
Start with
Harry.
Harry. You go first. Harry,
So my channel is the Driftless Homestead.
right here, Driftless Homestead.
Because it's based in the Driftless region of Wisconsin. It's in 4 states, Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois. A little bit in Illinois. And then, that's basically where the channel's based out of. And then I do a lot of firewood, but then I do a lot with mushrooms, whether it's foraging for mushrooms or growing mushrooms. And then hunting. I haven't completely separated any of the sportsman stuff out like Chris has. But, that is an intention because, sometimes when you cross stuff, people be offended by that type of thing.
Yep.
So
it's basically what we do.
Driftless Homestead dude. There he is, Harry. Mike.
And I'm Mike from KNL Firewood.
That's 3 letters.
3 letters, KNL.
Okay.
K is for my daughter Kim, L is for my other daughter Lily. We started a firewood business and started a YouTube channel right behind that, and we've been doing it about a year.
Cool. Chris, in the wood yard, firewood forever, YouTube for 2 years almost.
Yeah.
That's it?
Well, in the wood yard. That's my channel.
Oh.
Everybody knows who he is.
No, they don't.
Well, I'm Tony. I'm starting a new channel here, and it's going to be called Tony's Cool Tools. There you go.
There you go. So that's all of our channels. Next, let's first of all talk about how we got into firewood and why. We'll try to keep that. We'll each do that. So Harry, you go first again.
So when I was a kid in the city of Kenosha, we used to, my dad put an add-on furnace on the house, and we used to burn wood at the house there. And what's kind of interesting is my dad didn't cut wood, and he didn't buy wood either. He kind of like scrounged for it. So for years we did pallets, and they have all the chemicals in the world spills on a pallet.
That's
we burned
it.
We burned it in our fireplace. And then the company he worked for was getting rid of wooden hammer handles to go to plastic hammer handles. So one day he brought home truckloads of hickory hammer handles, and we burned those. Boy, did we have a chimney fire!
Wow.
Yeah, so I grew up heating homes with wood, and then as soon as I had my own house, I had gotten it. And I think that the natural progression for most people that heat with wood is, boy, I got this expensive boiler, or I'm heating my house with wood, and I got this equipment to produce wood. The next step is to start selling wood. So I think that's just a natural progression amongst people who heat with wood. So that's where that brought me. I got a firewood stand, and next year probably be selling face cords, but right now it's just bundle wood.
So we started burning at our house because we put in a central boiler 10 or 12 years ago, and just like Harry said, we've just progressed to selling wood, and here we are.
Yeah, I started when I was like 7. My dad put a wood stove in the basement, and our job was to take an old-fashioned railroad hammer, for putting spikes in.
Oh.
So it had a head about that big, and my dad gave us a couple old nasty crappy wedges, and we had to split elm all winter long.
Oh.
And then carry it.
God.
Yeah, no, that
And
was
you
it.
still weren't...
I didn't like it at the time.
Oh.
But yeah, and carry wood in the basement and basically help my dad cut firewood. And I've always been a pyromaniac. My favorite thing to do was to go make a fire in the woods by myself, take a can of beans and a hot dog, or with friends, whatever, and make fires. And then from there, I helped my dad do wood, the whole time we were there. And then when I moved out, having fires in the backyard, and then we bought our first house, had a fireplace, started burning firewood in the backyard, fire pit, and then every time camping, and started cutting wood and got so much I had way more than I was ever going to need. My wife says, "You got to get rid of some of that wood." was just ridiculous. And that was 40 face cords, and I sold it all, and now I do a lot. So now I'm here with these guys.
Thank you for sharing. Are you
Can I have
what step?
Can I have a tissue?
Oh, absolutely. Mine was different. I was basically born in Chicago, lived in Chicago, and we had 4 flat apartment buildings, and my father had gas heat, a Siegler heater in the center of the apartment building. But the tenants that we had, they had coal and wood burning stoves or heating units. And they would go out and get pallets in Chicago and break them apart and burn the pallets when they couldn't afford the coal. But that I always loved watching them. And so fast forward about 25 years or 30 years, and hunting places are hard to find. So one of the things that we did was we had a hunting club, and we would get farmers to let us hunt on their property in exchange for labor. And the number one thing that they liked was firewood. And so we would cut firewood for them. We'd also put up hay, we'd mend fences, all the things that you do on a farm. But the number one thing was doing firewood. And that, I just love that. And I love all aspects of wood. And when I retired, I bought a house and put an outdoor wood boiler in it, and just love feeding that. And then just started collecting more wood, and got a couple of stands out in the last couple of weeks, so we'll see how those do, and try to sell some firewood, building inventory right now. And dang, is it getting hot here.
Yeah, I'm almost on fire.
Yeah,
Scoot back,
we
maybe.
better scoot back a little.
We look better farther away anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Or in the dark.
That's what the women say.
With a bag on her head. That all helps. Okay, so then the next thing is that let's talk about, we got the firewood thing there a little bit. Let's talk about when we started our businesses. How long ago and why and how did that come about? So Harry, why don't you go first?
Mine was probably, I was just splitting and cutting for myself, but then to make things easier, I bought a better log splitter, and once you spend the money for a better log splitter, you want to try and recoup your investment. So I started the firewood stand last year. So every weekend before I left my house, I'd fill the firewood stand, and I'm right across the street from a lake, and every weekend it would empty out. So trying to get bigger and more wood going with that, and it does a good job. Last year I was at $5 a bundle. Currently I'm at $5, but I bought signs to go to $6. And for all you people out in the YouTube world or watch this, consider raising your prices. We all need to.
Yeah, it costs more to produce it.
Costs more to produce it, costs more to buy truckloads of firewood, because diesel fuel, the truck bringing it to you. But it's just it's something. You may sell more than the guy down the road if you're $1 or $2 cheaper. I've got some places that are selling it for $2 a bundle. I got pictures of, and I don't think you're doing anybody any good, including yourself, because you're just working hard and not getting enough pay.
Mm-hmm. So what about you with your business, Mike?
So yeah, we same kind of story. We were starting to burn firewood at our house, and we had tree services bringing us wood, and we had more than we could consume. So I just thought, well, why not try and sell some? And we did, and it sold really fast. The little bit we had the first year. So this is our second calendar year of actually selling wood, and it's gone great this year. Last weekend was Memorial Weekend. It was very busy for us. So yeah, I think it's a great little side hustle. It's fun to do. I see it growing in the future. I don't think it's going to get any cheaper. I think more people are going to be camping. Fuel costs are going through the roof. So it's a good little side hustle.
Yeah, it is. It's a good way to make some side money. I started mainly because I love doing it, and thought I could make some extra money just getting rid of extra wood that I had, not even thinking that it would be a thing to do the next year again, just to get rid of my extra wood. And then it sold so fast. It was like, wow, I think I could do that again. So then the next year I doubled and doubled and doubled and doubled, and I've been at it now for, 7-8 years selling wood. and now it's become almost a full-time business. I got that much. I mean, I could work 80 hours a week on it if I wanted to, and I sell everything I produce pretty much, so it just keeps growing. But I'm in a good market area.
What are you on track to make this year? Not money wise, cords or
Probably
volume?
600 face cords.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of wood, and I could sell more.
Yeah.
I only do an ad on Craigslist. I don't do anything else. I don't do Facebook Marketplace. I don't have a website. I don't do anything. Word of mouth and an ad that I take down when I'm gone, and I say no to some people once in a while. I just can't do it, and I try to get back to the people as fast as I can, and it just keeps growing. But the biggest thing that I always tell people, you got to have a market for it. You got to be in a place where there's people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a restaurant. I mean, there's great restaurants. We went to one today for lunch.
That's it.
It's a ways from here, and it's a little bitty speck on the map, crossroads, basically.
That's it.
Great food,
And
great
we have
ambience,
to support
great place.
those businesses.
And there was like 3 or 4 other people in there.
That's it.
Yeah. So you got to have bodies.
That's for sure.
So what are you doing now?
Well, the biggest thing for me was to save LP costs. LP is getting extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Even the guaranteed pricing that you do, contract pricing, is getting very expensive.
I just looked. I think it's gone up 200%.
Oh,
from last year.
I could easily see that.
Yeah.
This
I
year,
just did. I looked at that. LP was 200%. Heating oil, I think, was like 250%.
Wow.
Higher than what it was. No, gas was higher. It was the oil, heating oil, and gasoline was 85% increase.
well,
So
That's great.
that's a lot.
that's one of the major reasons. And this year I was very successful in that I didn't have to turn the LP on more than 1 or 2 days the whole winter.
So you
And
basically got a backup then. Too.
I have a backup, exactly,
awesome.
yeah. And I burn about 8 cords, but out of that 8 cords, I do maybe 1.5 or maybe a little bit more inside the house, because my wife doesn't mind me having play days here, but her rule is when the temperature dips below 50 degrees, there has to be a fire in the fireplace.
Nice.
So, and I honor that, and we have a fire every night in the wintertime and really enjoy it.
So now you just put a stand up
Yep,
on the road here,
that's-
and you got one at your daughter's.
I
too.
have 2 stands that I just put up within the last couple of weeks, and we'll see how they're going to do.
Yeah.
Joe from Ohio Woodburner and Adam just had something talking about don't get discouraged if you don't get sales immediately, because people have to find your find your stand and then have a need for the wood. So it could take a while,
Right.
and
Right.
we'll see.
And that happened with my brother. He had a stand up for almost a year and sold very little. Like the first month or 2, sold nothing. Took him quite a while. And he's on a little bitty town, kind of a road that nobody drives on, and now he sells quite a bit just on his roadside stand. But then he also supplies people for heating that he delivers. But the stand, he calls it his beer money, because it's every day there's some money in there.
But it's kind of neat in that Kenny, your brother, with his, it's a little different dynamic in that he was telling us that he sells cedar, and it's mostly kindling when you look at it.
In his stand, yeah.
And his stand, and yet people in the wintertime buy more kindling because they don't have any. So he's selling a heck of a lot of kindling. Whereas here, I don't know too many stands selling kindling.
No, and then his other thing in the summertime, he sells a lot of that cedar kindling. It's pieces that are that big to campers because they want to fire right now.
Well, that's what we had here.
Right now. Yeah, we just started with.
We just
cedar.
started it with Kenny's
It burns
wood.
fast, but they don't care. They want to play with the fire.
Right.
Right.
They're not. I get that a lot on my channel. People watch it. You're making all that kindling, little bitty pieces.
That's probably the number
don't.
one
They don't
thing.
want this cut in half to put on the fire.
Yeah.
They want that to be
30 pieces.
16 or 20 pieces. That's
Right.
what they want.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, so now let's do how long you been in YouTube and what it's done for you. Harry, you go first.
YouTube, I'm just about on 2 years, about the same time Chris started. And what it's done for me is meeting people, and creating friends, like these 3 guys here, I met Chris. I went over there, kind of figured out where he was, talked to him, and then next thing you know.
So you were a stalker,
Yeah, yeah.
just like I was.
Yeah. Then Chris introduced me to Tony, which is amazing how small the world is. So Chris is like, yeah, call this Tony guy up, you know, whatever. And then come to find out that Tony and I live like 5 minutes apart from each other.
And then it gets weird.
Then it gets weirder.
It gets weirder. Then my hunting land that I'm at every weekend is kitty corner, just basically touches the place he hunts at in Richland Center, Wisconsin.
And
How
I've been
far away?
watching you for about 5 years, coming into your hunting stand every hunting season, you know, and not knowing that it was you.
Right.
Yeah, how far
That's
away is that?
120
It's
miles
about
away.
It's crazy.
They live next to each other, and they have property next to each other.
Yeah.
120 miles away. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, and it was just bizarre the way we. Well, I live there too. Well, that's the street I live on. Well, that's yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm at the end of the road. Well, we're next door
The
to
one
you.
before the end of the road.
And then, yeah, and you both use steel chainsaws, which is not that unusual. You both have Easton-made processors, and you both used to be male dancers. So
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
yeah, you got that.
Only I wore G-string. He didn't have any clothes on.
Oh,
Right.
he did the full Monty. Yeah. Nice.
And then he introduced me to Mike. I've seen Mike's YouTube channel, but then also he's like, hey, this Mike from K&L Firewood's coming up. And then I came over, had dinner with him, nice visit. And Mike and I have done some things other than that. You know, everybody talks about the community working together. Mike made a deal for a wood wrapper to make bundle firewood, and he set up the deal, and I thought, we're not paying shipping on that. And I drove to Minnesota, picked him up, and then drove down to Rockford and delivered him his.
Yeah.
You know, so
Nice.
it's nice that we could work. I mean, I don't know what it is. You know,
But you
watch
hear
somebody-
stories of that all the time.
Yeah.
Fixing chainsaws, getting products.
It's getting ridiculous.
Hey, you're the one who wanted this.
Well, we were over there.
We were on the good side of the fire
Yeah,
before you made us
exactly.
move.
Wind was blowing that
It
direction when
certainly
we set up.
was, yeah.
So what about you, Mike? Go ahead.
My YouTube channel is about a year old. I think I started in July, so it's almost a year. I guess what it's done for me is, at home, it keeps me accountable. You know, I kind of said that I was going to put out at least a video a week, so it makes me get outside and split wood or cut wood or do something firewood related, where before I would just go out and cut whatever I thought I needed for that upcoming winter. But now I'm out there more often, getting more exercise, making some side money, and then of course the friend thing that is probably the most unique and I don't really know the word for it. It's
The camaraderie.
camaraderie. That's
Just
it.
unbelievable, and it's throughout. You talk to whether it's Firewood in the Furnace or Dan's channel, Dan
Right.
Back 40.
No matter what part of the country they're from,
That's
it's
it.
similar. Very
It's
similar.
very similar.
And
I didn't know
when
there
you-
was that many crazy people out there. I thought it was just us.
That's it.
and I was in the market for a log splitter, so then I started watching YouTube and watched a lot of your channels and kind of thought you were celebrities. And
Now you know different.
yeah, right. And then Tony got his Axis, and I got my Axis about a month later, and he sent me an email and just said, hey, if you get time, give me a shout. I'd just like to talk about the differences between our machines and the similarities, and it just snowballed from there. And then he introduced me to Chris and Harry, and I've talked to a lot of the YouTube guys on a regular basis. It's a unique community that I love to be a part of. So
Yeah, it's totally changed my life. I mean, I've owned my own business for 30 some years, and so I kind of know how to deal with customers and stuff. And selling the firewood was a whole other business I started, but then my son said, hey, you know, you could do a YouTube thing because you're doing something that there's not a lot of people doing. And at the time, there wasn't that many. I said, because I've been asking him for about a year, I'm thinking about doing that. What do you think? He said, maybe. He said, it'd be a lot of work. And I said, well, I'm not afraid of that. And so we started the channel in 2 months, it'll be 2 years. that we started. I mean, I started the channel, but didn't do anything for quite a while. And I asked him, he says, what should I do? He says, well, you need to do at least a couple videos a week. And he said, you're going to need to start it with a bunch of videos. So if they like what they see, they got more to watch. I said, okay. I just did what I was told. So he just told me what to do and just started doing a video every day. And I didn't intend it on keeping it going a video every day. It just kind of happened. So I'm kind of insane that way, that it just works. But I'm always, a lot of people don't realize this, I'm always 2 weeks ahead. Not always, sometimes I get down to where I'm only 2-3 days ahead. But then I try to do some days a couple videos and try to get ahead so I can have a life. But the biggest thing I've gotten out of YouTube, number one by far, is all the friends that I've made. And all over the United States, world I should say. I get, people that are sending me emails and messages and presents, and it's weird. It's the weirdest thing. But I've gotten to know some really nice people. And too bad they're not here. Got to dig you a little bit.
Oh,
no, they're all great guys. I've never met anybody in the firewood business I didn't like. They're all super nice people. They're all very giving people, hardworking people. I've met people like, one of the other things that I mentioned is that, people in different parts of the country. Jeremy from out in, hi there, guy.
Your new best friend?
Oh yeah, your new best friend.
My real best friend.
Yeah.
Next, he invited me to go elk hunting on a private ranch. I was like, how good is that? I mean, that was cool.
Yeah, he's always about the meat.
This is good meat. This is delicious. But people all over. I get people, in California that send me 5-pound boxes of almonds, and people that send me tools that they use or things they think I need, and they say, hey, you need this. I saw you were limping with that, whatever it was. I was,
You never shared that.
Oh, I can't share everything with you.
Oh.
Well, then I had companies start to reach out to me that wanted me to try products like, boots and tools and stuff, and that's really cool. I've got to travel to different places, meet different people, and the side money's been good with, obviously the firewood, but now YouTube, I'm starting to make some money on that, and it's growing, and it's really good. I'm starting to get some offers for some things, which is just amazing that people want to pay me to talk about their stuff or give me stuff to use for free. It's such a weird thing I'm just not used to. And everybody thinks, I've had people come to my wood yard because they want to work and they think it's something special. It's a wood yard. It's not what they think it is.
But you do give out free water.
In the creek. I gotta go to the creek.
Maybe some gum. Maybe.
Maybe some gum. So it's changed everything. And I don't have any free time anymore. That's probably the negative part of it. I literally get up in the morning, first thing I do is turn my laptop on, answer comments for an hour, maybe 2 hours, because I want to do that as long as I can. It's getting harder. And then I work all day doing videos or doing work or my other business, and then as soon as I get home, usually by dark, 8:30, 9 o'clock, I get back to answering comments, do that, then I edit till midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock sometimes, and that's how every day is.
Yeah.
Every day. Yeah. He's like, are you nuts? But I have an unfair advantage. Number one, my kids are grown and gone. My wife's got her own hobbies. She's busy doing what she does, and I like doing it. It's fun. I mean, I want to do more of it. I wish I didn't have to sleep. I wish I could go 24 hours a day. I'm weird. But you knew that.
That's for sure. Well, I wanted no part of YouTube. I was a user. I like to get information from them, but that's about it. And then I started watching your channel, and at that time you were looking for a tractor. And I was a stalker too, kind of found out where you were and everything else, and got your phone number, and called you and said, hey, do you want to take a look at a tractor? I've got one here, and I've got some other tools and that. And from there it just snowballed, and we've had just a blast doing a lot of stuff, and it's just opened up a lot. Harry and Mike and several other people, and it's just an awesome community.
A lot of great friends.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is that the friendships aren't just like you shake hands and say hi and talk a little bit. I mean, people come in to work and do stuff together.
That's it.
Like we went fishing the other day. I haven't fished in 2 years. And Tony said, let's go fishing. So we went fishing. Stuff like that. It's just so cool. Just all the stuff, and it is amazing. It's just amazing how things have changed and will continue to change. I'm sure there's
without a doubt.
a bunch more to come.
Yep.
So that's it for today, folks. Hopefully you learned a little bit about us and what YouTube has done for us and changed our lives. And I think that we're all very grateful to be part of the community.
Absolutely.
And you should go to Harry's channel, Driftless Homestead, watch his stuff. Mike's channel, KNL.
3 letters.
Firewood. I'm in the wood yard. Tony's Cool Tools. Cool Tools.
Tony's Cool Tools.
Let's say it more. Tony's
Those
Cool
cool
Tools.
tools. Everyone
Tony's
say it.
Cool Tools. Tony's Cool Tools. Tony's Cool Tools.
There you go.
Woo!